Strategic management model. Strategic management is a set of managerial decisions and actions that determines the long-run performance of a corporation. It includes environmental scanning, strategy formulation, strategy implementation, evaluation, and control. So, the study of strategic management emphasizes monitoring and evaluating environmental opportunities and threats in light of a corporation's strength and weakness. So, a model is a representation of the proposed structure, which is a simplified system used to stimulate some aspect of the real life situations. A strategic management is a representation of the proposed structure of strategic management in combination of strategies and management activities. So it has 6 stages. The stage 1 stimulate organization direction. Stage 2 is based on environmental scan. Stage 3 is SWOT analysis. Stage 4 is strategy formulation. Stage 5 is strategic implementation. And stage 6 is control in the light of real life situations. Let us try to understand the different stages in the strategic management model. The first component of strategic management process is defining the mission and major goals of the organization. So the mission sets out why the organization exists and what it should be doing. Major goals specifies what the organization hopes to fulfill in the short to the long run. The long-term goals and short-term goals are the more specific targets of results the firm wants to achieve. So the goals are derived from and must be focused on fulfilling the firm's mission. After stating the mission and goals of the firm, everyone involved should know exactly what the firm wants to achieve. The second stage is environmental scanning. The total environment faced by an organization can be divided into 3 levels: internal environment, macro environment, and task environment. The internal environment. Internal environment consists of variables that are within the organization itself, but not usually within the short-run control of top management. Firms should attempt to determine their strength and weakness by carefully analyzing the internal factors. Steps can then be taken to reduce any weakness and deploy available strength to the best possible advantage. The key internal factors include the functional areas of human resource, research and development, production, finance and accounting, marketing, and the overall organization culture. The second is the macro environment. The macro environment includes more general forces that do not directly touch the short-run activities of the organization, but that can and often does influence its long-run decisions. The macro environment shape opportunities and pose threats to the company that those forces are generally more uncontrollable than the task factors. The factors of macro environment are economic, political and government, socio-cultural, technological, and international. Each of these macro environment factors can influence an organization as a single or in combination with other factors. As the task and macro environmental factors are beyond the control of a firm, the industry's success will depend to a very large extent on its adaptability to the environment, that is, its ability to properly design and adjust the internal variables, to take advantage of the opportunities, and to combat the threats in the environment. The last component in stage 2 in environmental scanning is task environment. The task environment includes those elements or groups that directly affect and are affected by an organization's major operations. It is an external factor to the firm that determines the nature and strength of industry competitors, buyers, suppliers, potential entrants, and substitutes. The third stage is SWOT analysis. Now, SWOT analysis is a useful tool for analyzing an organization's overall situation. This approach attempts to balance the internal strength and weaknesses of an organization with the opportunities and threats that the external environment presents. The point of the analysis is to enable the firm to position it to take advantage of particular opportunities in the environment and to avoid or minimize the environmental threats. In doing so, the organization attempts to emphasize its strength and moderate the impact of its weakness. The analysis is also useful for uncovering the strength that have not yet been fully utilized in identifying weaknesses that can be corrected. Matching the information about the environment with knowledge of the organization's capabilities enables the management to formulate realistic strategies for attaining its goals. So, a firm should not necessarily pursue the more lucrative opportunities, rather, it may have a better chance in developing a competitive advantage by identifying a fit between the firm's strength and upcoming opportunities. In some cases, the firm can overcome a weakness in order to prepare itself to pursue a compelling opportunity. To develop the strategies that take into account the SWOT profile, a matrix of these factors can be constructed. The SWOT matrix illustrates how management can match the external opportunities and threats facing the particular corporation with its internal strength and weakness to yield in four sets of possible strategic alternatives. So this method helps itself to brainstorming to create alternative strategies that management might not otherwise consider. It forces strategic managers create both growth and retrenchment strategies. Stage 4 is formulation of strategy. The formulation of strategy determines appropriate courses of action for achieving the objectives. It includes such activities as analysis, planning, and selecting strategies that increase the change then an organization's objectives will be achieved. Strategy is formulated at three distinct levels: the corporate levels, the business levels, and the functional levels. The corporate level strategy. Top management has four corporate level strategies available to them. They may elect to pursue a strategy of growth, stability, retrenchment, or a combination of those. SWOT analysis helps in determining which of these corporate strategies is most appropriate for a particular firm. Now, the first one is a growth strategy. A company may select a growth strategy to increase their profit, sales, or market share. When a firm possesses valuable strength and operates in an environment of abundant opportunities, a corporate growth strategy is appropriate. Growth may be attaining a variety of ways, that is internal growth, mergers, horizontal integration, conglomerate diversification, vertical integration, and joint ventures. The second is stability strategy. Stability strategy is one in which a firm attempts to maintain its size and current line of business. It is more suited for a firm that possesses moderate strength in an environment of moderate opportunities. And the last one is retrenchment strategy. When a firm performance is disappointing or at the extreme, or when its survival is at stake, then retrenchment strategies may be appropriate. Retrenchment may take one of the three forms: turnaround, disinvestments, or liquidation. The second level of strategy in strategic formulation is the business level strategy. Michael Porter suggests that a business should thoroughly analyze its industry and then define a competitive niche by adopting one of the three generic strategies. The first one is differentiation. Differentiation strategy attempts to develop an image of its product or service might be differentiated by attributes such as quality, design, and service. The second one is cost leadership strategy. It attempts to maximize the sales by minimizing the cost per unit. So, low cost may be achieved through efficiencies in production, product design, distribution channels, and similar means. The last one is a focus strategy. An organization target its products or services at a specific area such as geographic location or a customer group. The last strategy is the functional level strategy. Now, functional strategies focus on how the organization will approach its basic functional activities. Many organizations develop marketing strategy, issues such as promotion techniques to be used, pricing, product mix, and overall image of the company. Financial strategy specifies the capital structure of the organization, debt policy, assets management procedures, and dividend policy. Production strategy is concerned with issues of quality, productivity, and technology, and human resource strategies such as compensation, selection, performance appraisal, and other aspects of the organization's human resources. And research and development strategy focus on issues regarding product development, licensing, and organizations' commitment to innovation, marketing, and financial. Having chosen a strategy to achieve the goals of the company, that strategy then has to put into action. It has to be implemented. And the stage 5 is known as implementation of strategy. In order to implement organizational strategy successfully, managers must have a clear idea of several diverse issues such as how much change is necessary within an organization when it implements a new strategy, how it is best to deal with organization culture in order to ensure that a strategy will indeed be implemented smoothly, how strategy implementation and various types of organizational structures are related, what different implementation approaches a manager can follow, and what skills are necessary in managers who hope to implement organizational strategy successfully. The last stage is strategic control. It consists of determining the extent to which the organization's strategies are successful in attaining its goals and objectives. If the goals and objectives are not being reached as planned, then the intent of control is to modify the organization strategy. Now, strategic control process consists of several steps. That is, top management must decide what elements of the environment and of the organization need to be monitored, evaluated, and controlled. Then, standards must be established with which the actual performance of the organization can be compared. Next, management must measure the company's actual performance. These measures will generally be both quantitative and qualitative. The performance measures will then be compared with the previously established standards. If performance is in line with the standards or exceeds them, then the corrective actions is not necessary. But if performance falls below the standards, then management must take a particular remedial action. Strategic management is not a box of tricks or a bundle of techniques. It is analytical thinking and commitment of resources to action. A model of strategic management is a representation of the proposed structure of strategic management in combination of strategies and management activities. It is mainly a simplified system used to stimulate organization direction, environmental scan, SWOT analysis, strategy formulation, implementation, and control in the light of real life situations. The survival of an organization depends on simple maintenance of effective strategy to achieve the organizational objectives. I hope the concepts are clear. Thank you. Have a nice day.